With Roki Sasaki now officially a Dodger, the Los Angeles Dodgers have, on paper at least, put together one of at least the top 3 rotations in all of baseball. Add to that the seemingly 2 full rotations on the Dodgers injured list, as well as the many prospects looking to make the jump to the majors, and it seems the Dodgers are poised for another NL West title and a very good shot at repeating the World Series. However, there are no guarantees in baseball, and this rotation is more of a gamble than one might think. Before we begin, I want to say this. I have written out my thoughts on this topic of the Dodgers rotation in much greater detail than what will be discussed in this video in a blog post. This blog post is linked in the description in case you want a more detailed analysis than what you're getting in this video. As it stands per the writing of this script on January 19th of 2025, the Dodgers' projected 6-man rotation, assuming that's the way they're going, for the 2025 season will look something like this. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, Shohei Ohtani once he comes back in what is currently speculated to be May, and the 6th spot up for grabs for guys like Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, Bobby Miller, Landon Knack, Clayton Kershaw, and all the other starters that I'm not gonna even bother trying to list off. To just put into perspective just how much money the Dodgers have invested in all these starters, right? Yoshinobu Yamamoto is on contract for 12 years for a total of $318.5 million. He will be making $14.16 million in 2025, with a contract structure that allows the contract to peak at $33.16 million and will hover around $30 million a year starting in 2027. Tyler Glasnow, he's on a 5-year extension worth $136.5 million, and his 2025 salary is listed at $32.5 million. Blake Snell, who just signed a 5-year $182 million deal, his 2025 salary is listed as $36.4 million. Shohei, I'm just going to consider his full contract, 10 years, $700 million, with his 2025 salary being $2 million. With Sasaki, he doesn't really add much to this as he just gets the signing bonus from the international bonus pool money, which isn't relevant for actual major league payroll. He will be earning a league minimum salary, which in 2025 will stand at $760,000. These total contracts add up to $1.337 billion if you consider Ohtani's full $700 million contract, which admittedly carries a lot of the weight here, but hey. In total, the Dodgers will be paying $85.82 million for their starting rotation, ignoring that 6th spot that's still open in 2025. Now, let's go through all of these starters sorted by the year the Dodgers acquired them, and talk about the risk they bring to the table. We'll begin with the freshest of the bunch, Roki Sasaki. By now, if you haven't been living under a rock for the last few years, you know exactly what this guy's capable of. In 4 seasons in NPB, starting when he was 19 years old, he racked up a 2.10 ERA over 394.2 innings pitched, and he showed flashes of what he can do against major league hitters in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. With him, the biggest risk the Dodgers are taking on is how well do his talents translate from NPB to MLB, and how well can he adjust to major league hitting. The new MLB workload, even with a 6-man rotation, is still a bit more than pitching just once every full week in Japan. And of course, the lifestyle in America in general, how well can he adjust to that? He will of course have help from guys like Ohtani, Yamamoto, and the entirety of the Dodgers staff to help make that transition a lot easier for him. Next up, Blake Snell, whom the Dodgers signed a bit before getting Sasaki pretty early this offseason. Blake Snell's signing addressed one area of need for the Dodgers in their rotation, and that is a lefty. However, given the fact that Blake Snell has made 30 starts and eclipsed 130 innings only twice in his career, both times winning the Cy Young, if he did so, in 2018 and 2023, and has a history of injuries, adding 3 injury list stints in 2024 alone, the question becomes how much can this guy give you in terms of starts, innings, and volume. In addition to that, over the last few seasons, aside from his Cy Young season in 2023, Blake Snell has posted first half ERAs of 6.31 in 2024, 2.85 in 2023, which as I mentioned is the Cy Young year, that was good, 5.22 in 2022, and 4.99 in 2021. This inconsistency in Snell's performance adds yet another layer of uncertainty to him and his performance. Can he figure out a way to be productive across a full season, or is it going to be another tale of 2 halves for him? For the Dodgers, every game is going to be important, especially in a division with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Giants, and the Rockies. They're going to need every win they can get, especially early on. If Snell is more of a hindrance early on, they're going to be in trouble. Let's now move on to Tyler Glasnow. Yes, I know Yoshi Yamamoto technically signed after Glasnow, so he should be here, but Glasnow and Snell are similar enough to where I feel like it's good to have them back to back. Glasnow is very similar to Snell in that he can be very effective when he's healthy, but he is very injury prone. In his career, the most starts he's made in any of his seasons is 22 in 2024 with the Dodgers. Fair enough. However, he also hasn't pitched since August and wasn't a part of their World Series run, as he went on the IL with elbow tendonitis. Again, you run the risk of how much volume can this guy truly give you without hurting himself. Now let's get to the big contract, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Coming off his first major league season as part of a massive 12-year deal, there's a lot to look forward to with Yoshi Yamamoto, given the fact he had an ERA of 3 flat and has shown his brilliance in the playoffs, namely in the NLDS in Game 5 against the Padres, going 5 shutout innings to send the Dodgers to the championship series, and, of course, his World Series Game 2 start against the Yankees, going 6 in the 3rd innings of 1-run ball, getting the win. Still, there's reason for concern. Yamamoto made just 18 regular season starts, 4 more in the playoffs, so 22 in total. He missed multiple months with triceps tightness, which, unfortunately for him, follows a trend of Japanese pitchers suffering injuries early on in their MLB tenures. Kodai Senga suffered injuries during his 2nd season and made 1 start in 2024 in the regular season, and Shohei Ohtani suffered Tommy John late in his 2018 rookie campaign and missed nearly 2 full years of pitching. Those are some recent examples, and it of course brings the injury concern, but to a little bit of a lesser extent than with Glasnow and Snell, as Yamamoto hasn't really got a injury history. He had 1 longer injury stint in Japan in 2019, missing a month with a left oblique issue. Aside from that, and of course the triceps tightness from this past year, he only had 2 IL stints in Japan and returned both times after the minimum 10 days. So the risk may be a little less than with some of these other guys. Now the biggest one of them all, Shohei Ohtani. There's not much to say. He'll be coming off his 2nd career Tommy John surgery / major elbow surgery, which oftentimes has been the death of a pitcher's career. There have been pitchers who've been good after a 2nd Tommy John. Nathan Eovaldi is probably the most relevant example of this. And of course, Ohtani still has the value he provides with his bat. Now, Ohtani has himself said that this time around he underwent a different procedure than during his first surgery, and he is very much aware that this is likely his last chance at being a consistently good pitcher. He knows the risk involved in this. Coming off 2nd Tommy John, looking to make a comeback that goes better than the one he attempted in 2020, and genuinely he's aware that if he goes to another major arm issue, that might be it for him as a pitcher. However, if anybody can pull off a stunt like this, it's probably Shohei. Now, let's get to the 6th spot in the rotation, which I'm just gonna call the rest of the bunch. I'm not gonna devote an entire segment to every potential starter the Dodgers have, as this would make this video hours long. So here's a little bit of a speed. Clayton Kershaw. He's going to be back with the Dodgers one way or another, let's be honest, even though he hasn't signed yet. The question with him is how much does he have left and what quality of pitching are you going to get from him? He will also start the season on the IL as he underwent surgery in late 2024, so we'll see how well he can fit into a rotation again. Landon Knack, who's been a long reliever for them in the postseason and wasn't good, but was solid as a starter in 2024. The question with him is, what role does he fill and can he produce as a starter if he's given that chance? Bobby Miller wasn't good in 24, had some injury concerns. Can he earn back his way into the rotation? Dustin May, he just underwent right flexor tendon surgery and will be looking to reestablish himself as a major league caliber pitcher. For him, the biggest risk is how much volume do you push out of his arm, and do you convert him to the bullpen, where his 102-mile-an-hour sinker, I believe, would play really well. Tony Gonsolin, he had Tommy John surgery, but is expected to return for the 2025 season. He's already made a couple of rehab starts in the minors, I believe 3, toward the late end of 2024, but wasn't ready or ready enough for the postseason run the Dodgers went on. He'll be looking to, after a disappointing 2023, and of course missing 2024 in its entirety, earn his way back to a rotation spot. Then there's some rookies that all have undergone injuries and are projected to return at some point through 2025, namely Gavin Stone with right shoulder surgery, River Ryan, who had Tommy John, and Emmett Sheehan, who had Tommy John early in spring training of 2024. All three of those guys could be in the mix for a rotation spot, but given that their return is yet to be determined, that's not going to be a factor until much later down the line. If you just look at all of these guys, basically guaranteed to be in the rotation with Yamamoto, Sasaki, Glasnow, Snell, and Ohtani, and that big list of wildcards, rookies, and Clayton Kershaw looking to become rotation pieces again for the Dodgers, you begin to see just what they have built here. A rotation that can carry them to a championship, however, that can just as easily blow up in their faces in the blink of an eye. Given the injury concern and the volume limit, quote unquote, on some of these starters, this could very well go wrong for the Dodgers. However, given the Dodgers offense, as well as their current bullpen, to which they just added Tanner Scott, both of those factors have the potential to take a lot of pressure off the Dodgers rotation. And this Dodgers team, with all of these pieces in place, may just break baseball in 2025 and beyond. But as is so often the case in baseball, anything can happen, and we're just gonna have to sit back, watch, and if you're a Dodger fan, enjoy the ride. If you're a fan of any other team, good luck. And that's it. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. Let me know how much risk you put on the Dodgers rotation, what you think is going to happen to all the starters. How do you think Ohtani will pitch given his return off second surgery? Let me know what you think about Sasaki, how well he's going to be adjusting, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.